Here. All right. So a bit of a later stream than normal. Work, life, keep me away from streaming at the normal time. But we got some time, so why not get some games in, see what happens. I decided to play 4-color today, 4-color Traverse Shadow. Mainly because it seemed like everybody was playing Jund today, so there's probably some Jund overload. This just gives something a little bit different. We've played a lot of like Grixis recently, played a lot of Jund. 4-color not getting as much love. Some advantages of 4-color over, let's say, Grixis. You get the additional threat density. You get the Tarmogoyfs, which are better in multiples than like Gurmag Angler. We're adding in a couple Grimflayers today. You get Scourges. You get the 3 Traverse to kind of get you that board presence a lot more consistently. Advantage of 4-color Traverse over like Jund, Stubborn Denial. You get to say no to some things that your opponent's doing. In addition, Street Wraith gives you a lot more explosive turns with Shadow, with threats like that. Like Street Wraith plus Shadow plus Battle Rage is a lot quicker at getting your opponent from 20 to 0 than Battle Rage Shadow with no Street Wraith. Raymo, how's it going? Oh baby, I love 4-color. 4-color will always have a very big soft spot in my heart. The downside of 4-color compared to like Grixis and Jund. Compared to either, it's going to be a little more inconsistent with the mana. Obviously, since we're trying to get 4 colors active instead of just 3, there's going to be times where the mana is not behaving quite how we want it to. Mana base is a little more painful because we do have to like fetch and shock a lot more often instead of just fetching up basics occasionally. Other than that, not a whole lot. We played Lurrus in the main because of Street Wraith. If you were wanting to play Lurrus in the board and drop the Street Wraith, honestly, it's not that big of a drop in power level. But the Street Wraiths do help tremendously with Traverse. So Traverse is the kind of card that you often get instant sorcery land in the graveyard pretty easily, but you need that 4th card type. So having access to like 4 Mishra's Baubles, 4 Street Wraith gives you a few more chances of getting that extra one in the yard. Alright, is this 2017? Basically. We've got a 2017 Grixis Shadow somewhere. But yeah, it just gives you a little more flexibility compared to the other shells. You get to play the counter spells with like the Jund kind of base. Other than that, not really much else to say. I guess we just jump into our first game. I've been wanting to cast me some Traverse the Ulvenwald lately, just haven't gotten around to it. Too many decks I've been wanting to try first. There's a lot of sweet decks out there, that is for sure. Alright, so we've got the Super Qualifier coming up Friday. That one. Showcase Challenge on Saturday. Another busy premiere event weekend. I'm wanting to try Goblin Rabblemaster as a Traverse target. Any particular reason for Rabblemaster? Ugh, he lands. Not terrible. So I think what I'm gonna do is bottom Lurrus or ways off of that. And I'm gonna bobble myself. If I see second land, I'm gonna pass with Stubborn Denial. if I don't see the second land, I would Inquisition here. Goes super wide, taxes opposing wraths, makes Lurrus better because of it. All fair reasons. So here we can get Blood Crypt because with our breeding pool it doubles up to cover all of our 4 colors. Just have to remember that the deck doesn't run a Stomping Ground or a Steam Vents. So if you want red, Blood Crypt is the only source. So Breeding Pool's the other shock land that doubles up with your Blood Crypt to give you all of your available colors. Also, TBR on a Rabblemaster with like 2 Goblin boosts is pretty good. That's fair. Not argue that point. Alright, let's get Grim Flayer down. Hold up this Stubborn Denial in case opponent goes for like a Teferi or something. Shark Typhoon for 0. Love to see it. So I guess opponent's missing 3rd land drop. Just trying 1 Scourge and 1 Snappy. How's that working for you? I'm usually not like a huge fan of Snapcaster in 4 color. Doesn't mean it's wrong. Hasn't really been the choice for me. How's Grim been going? It's like a graveyard ponder, isn't it? It's probably a good way to look at it. I haven't played too much with Grim Flayer, so we're gonna get kind of a first-hand experience of how it goes. Alright, so what I'm thinking is I'm a ways off of Delirium, but I guess I could Inquisition, and if I Stubborn Denial something, then Delirium is live. So maybe I just bend the Bauble in the Forest and keep the Traverse on top. Cast my Inquisition. I don't hate that. So I really don't want to overextend my board into a Wrath effect. Fun. Snap has been awkward sometimes. Also, there's the Wrath effect. Does conveniently give us Delirium. So I could go... I could Traverse for a fetch land and just like play a decent sized Scourge. Hold up Stubborn Denial. I think that's what I'm gonna do. Wanting to snap stub and having 2 blue sources. Yeah, like if you're wanting to snap stub, you really need to be like blue, black, splash, green. This is a little more like black, green, splash, blue, and red. upkeep path or something. If they have a force of negation. Yep. Alright. Don't really want to throw this shadow out there. Have you played the Grixis Scourge list? Any reviews? I want to try Dreadhorde Arcanist in it. I've never been impressed with the Dreadhorde Arcanist builds. We're gonna snap Verdict, which means I think I'm just going to pay 4 life, dismember this Snapcaster, going untap with a slightly bigger shadow. Alright. This is what I've got, opponent. I have Alpine Moon, 1K command, 2 Kozilek's return to my board. I think the 1 Blood Crypt for red source is okay. I think so. Like, I'm running 2K return, K command, just no Alpine Moon. So rough. Archmage's Charm. This is why blue-white X-control decks are such a rough matchup for Shadow. Like, you can't really overextend into the Wrath. Set yourself up in these positions where single card can mess you up pretty hard. Alright, opponent has got 1 unknown card in hand. Don't really know why they're not, like, ripping our red source here. Right? Let them fire up this colonnade. And they have the path. Okay. Not to have all of the pieces there. Obviously, we bring in, or we leave in fatal pushes for their death shadows, right? Seems like a solid plan. Something like that. Spellbomb. I guess I would rather have Spellbomb than, like, Dismember. Go like this. I think we brewed a a 4-color Traverse list with Luris as a companion one time. We probably need to do that again. Like, guaranteeing access to the Luris in games like that is really nice, but definitely like Street Wraith as well, so it's a tough one. Not sure if you watch older formats. Saw some Doomsday list running Death Shadow the other day. Thought that was kind of neat. That is pretty sweet. Alright, what do we got? We've got a bobble on ourselves. Stubborn. I think I will take the second Stubborn Denial. But because we boarded out all of our red spells, we can just go straight for like an Overgrown Tomb here instead of needing to get something else. All right. So we could play Grimflayer, and if we get to untap, we can protect it with Stub. But they've got this path that we know about, so let's go ahead and take that. And then if like we hit a third land and get to untap with Grimflayer, or untap and play Grimflayer, we're in pretty good shape. Or just play that and hold up Stub. They've got Archmage's Charm. I think I'm actually going to go with the Grimflayer here. I can stub the Archmage's Charm, but Grimflayer is going to give me a little bit more value if it hits. Like, they're both 4 damage at the moment. If Grimflayer connects, it just gets to set up the rest of my hand a little bit better. Haha, opponent, you've turned on our Scourge for us. Monastery Mint. Not too particularly thrilled in any of these. I think I'm just going to bottom all of them. Play a Scourge. Can't steal this with an Archmage's Charm. We know 3 of their 4 cards. Alright, so if they Archmage's Charm, make a token, they could like try to double block the Grimflayer. But I think I'm okay with that trade-off. Yep. Now the question is, am I just trying to dodge a wrath effect? Two cards, one unknown. I'd have to draw like exactly 4th Street Wraith into fetch to be able to have 2 lethal attackers next turn. I think I'm just gonna say go with the Scourge up. Yep. Scourge gets there. Don't think there's really anything we're changing up going into game 3. We saw Monastery Mentor, but it's not really a card that I want to board for. Mainly because like whatever we would board in for that doesn't fit into our game plan against like the rest of the deck. The Digger. Short question. If I want to start with MTGO, is it better to rent cards? I'm not the biggest fan of playing Magic Online, but the current situation doesn't really let me do it otherwise. So, I guess it would depend on what your end goal is. Like, if you're just wanting to play Magic Online, this hand's great, by the way. If you're just wanting to play Magic Online occasionally, like once a week, something like that, twice a week, then renting cards is fine. No issue with that whatsoever. If you think you're going to be playing like a lot online and want options, then I would 100% go the rent route. Like for me, I still have a Mana Trader subscription, but I rented as I was like building up my collection, and now I own everything that I need to own. But I'm also like on here just about every day playing, making content, so it's a little bit different of a situation. All right, so this is kind of getting to show off the explosiveness of Street Wraith Shadow variants. Like, we've got the option here for just a turn 2 Death Shadow. Really start putting the pressure on our opponent to find answers. But I guess to answer your question, like, I would say rent. And right now there's like some stuff going on. Like Magic Online's got these mythic event tokens at the moment where it's $25 and you get to unlock a god account for a couple weeks, and you get access to like every card Magic Online. Really sweet idea. But something like that I'd really recommend checking out if you're wanting to just get used to Magic Online and, like you said, playing online. Alright, so We know 3 of their 4. They did have 1 blind draw in here. Let's get a watery grave and a breeding pool. Get down our shadow. Double stubborn denial. Say go. They're probably going to go with this sit on the Archmage's charm for a second plan. Try to steal our shadow after we hit them once or twice. If it's possible, they could just go for the charm right away. Or you don't. And now that Stubborn Denial's in the yard, we have turned on Traverse. $25 for all cards for some time? Yes. So it lets you use any card in Magic Online in events for like that $25 price. So if you're wanting to try out Magic Online, like this is a really good time to check it out. Alright, so what I'm gonna do is hit them with the shadow here. Play the second shadow, and I'm gonna go ahead and traverse for Aluris, because I think that for the most part the only way they're really killing me here is with a Wrath. I guess I could traverse for like a Scourge and just have 2 lethal attackers even if they have a removal spell, but I feel like at the moment the only way I'm losing is to a Wrath. So we'll just kind of set up for life post-Wrath. So 0 cards in their hand now. Alright. How you beat blue-white control. Yeah, no problem. Like, I think the God account thing they do is really awesome. I think it's for like 2 or 3 weeks or something like that. It might have already been out for a week or something, so don't quote me specifically on that. But if Wizards ever decided to do something like that full time, it would probably put mana traders out of business. But they only do it during these big, like, mythic weekends when all of everyone's like play points are going out. That being said, if you're already a Mana Trader subscriber and you have been for a bit, just like having your Mana Traders account is cheaper if you've gotten like some months of the loyalty deduction. God account's valid until the 14th. There you go. So you've got a week with it. Alright, Sacred Foundry pass. Sacred Foundry pass, tell me. Like, I would assume burn, but burn not having a turn 1 play is a little bit odd. I'm just gonna go Bloodstained Mire pass so I can fetch up basic swamp and fatal push if I need to. Okay. Okay. I think I'm still gonna get the basic swamp. This could be like a red-white Iliad Ballista variant. Check it out, sounds good. I play Arena, but Modern is my favorite format, so there. Yeah, I'm not a huge Arena promoter either. Oh, is this this has got to be like Spike's Saheeli Felidar Guardian deck, right? That's kind of what jumps out at me here. So like these things, Ephemerate. The blocks are a little weird there. I think I'm just gonna like bottom the fetches, keep the battle rage. I could very easily see myself wanting the battle rage. Mana Traders lets you rent cards depending on what you pay, right? Yes. So you can pay like a few different amounts per month, and it gives you a rental limit based on that. So if you pay like $35 a month, it's like 300 ticks or something like that, or $50 a month for like 600 ticks. I don't remember the exact numbers off the top of my head, but try to get in here with Grimflare. It's like a restoration angel or something. Fencer. Right? Fencer to bounce my Grimflare. Just make you think about Stubborn Denial. No Vencer sees modern play. It doesn't outside of your occasional Aspiring Spike control deck. Alright, so I know I'm gonna be killing this Felidar Guardian. Guess we'll just go ahead and do that. Spike has a way with making decks that are fantastic against us and okay, but not like incredible against the rest of Modern. But he plays them flawlessly. So what do I need to do here? I can crack Peatland, Fatal Push the Skyclave Apparition. Kind of like the thing I need to do while he's tapped out here. I just don't want to get into like an Ephemerate battle on their turn. Saying Ephemerate battle, it's just Ephemerate. And Raven Inspector. Alright. Just like Jeskai, Value, Blink. Like we already saw the Felidar Guardian, so I have to assume, yeah, this is Spike's deck. For sure. Wraith in case there's like a bobble on top. Matt, how's it going? I'm liking the late night stream. I wouldn't get too used to it. It was more like I didn't have time earlier and figured I might as well get the stream in now. Something better late than never. Right? You want to do with that there, Saheeli? How does the combo work? Never played against that deck. So the combo is Saheeli Rai and Felidar Guardian. There's a couple different ways to start it, but if you have Saheeli Rai and Felidar Guardian on the field at the same time, Saheeli minuses to make a token copy of a creature you control, so a copy of Felidar Guardian. Guardian enters the battlefield, exiles another permanent you control, then returns it to the battlefield under your control. So you blink Saheeli, reset her loyalty, minus her, make another copy of Felidar Guardian. You can repeat that infinitely, and all the copies have haste because of Saheeli. Is this going to be Blink by Illusion? Yep. I'm pretty okay with. A really aggressive line from them. Went all the way to Vicksburg today and all I got was 3 burritos. A day well spent. Is that a day well spent? So what are we doing to maximize this turn? I can attack, Shadow at them, Luris at Saheeli. I can attack, Shadow at Saheeli, Luris at them. Like, really, I just need to gain the life. So the question is, am I, like, battle raging the Luris to make sure I get the Saheeli off the board? I think so. And I'm going to assign all 3 to the Watcher on the first strike, so I can gain the 3 plus an additional 3 on the second strike. If I assign 1 to the Watcher, 2 to the Saheeli, then I only gain the 3 because there's no second strike. Saheeli's just gone. I don't really want Saheeli just gone. I did go out and thought, I've been to Yazoo like once or twice outside of going to random tourneys and such. I'll go get some lunch in Yazoo. Somehow ended in Vicksburg. Those are pretty far away from each other. I don't know about your geographical skills, but they're not like right beside each other by any means. Alright, so opponent either had the Felidar Guardian and we stopped ourselves from being killed, or they didn't have the Felidar Guardian, and yeah. Not the worst draw in the world. Okay. The opponent just saw triple Saheeli, double Felidar Guardian. Alright. Now our immortal catchphrase, calm down, opponent. What's our game plan here? Something like that. I guess if I was looking for like a bright side here, it would be there's a chance that our opponent doesn't run Ice Fang Coatl. Because if they jammed that card in their deck, we would be screwed. I do know that they have infinite life combos with like double Felidar Guardian and Auriok Champion. Or Felidar Guardian that mimic an Auriok Champion. I gotta be careful of that. All in all, it feels like a pretty rough matchup, not gonna lie. How do you beat a pretty rough matchup? Hand disruption and battle rates. I'll lead off with Thoughtseize because if I want to play a Shadow on turn 2, I need to draw a second Thoughtseize. Hydrate, got you. Consider us hydrated. All right. Can't you see my heart is the MPVNT, thank you so much for the follow. Hope you're having a fantastic Wednesday. I guess it's not morning for anybody anymore. So afternoon, evening, or Tuesday morning, wherever you're at in the world. That's a pretty good series of draws from our opponent. Auriok Champion, or their 1-drop into Auriok Champion. That's a pretty good draw for us, so see what happens. At least a little bit surprised that they didn't just mimic their Auriok Champion there. And go for like the super value. Maybe they drew Ephemerate. 2 a.m. so technically morning. See? I know a little bit about time zones. A tad. Alright, so since they're cracking this, I should have bobbled on my turn there. They went ahead and cracked the flooded strand, so I know what they were drawing, and it gave me the chance of like drawing into a dismember or something like that. Mimic. Copy an Oriok champion. Nope. Other Wall of Omens. Ugh. I'm just gonna attack with both because I kind of want to incentivize like an attack on the backswing. Their hand is 3 lands, but they do have their clue. Too disciplined for our shenanigans. Just get down. Get Luris and Bobble going. How often are you running Death Shadow decks these days? Let's see. Let's give an answer to that question. Shadow, Modern PTQ, there's Scourges and Shadows and Shadow and Shadow and Shadow and Shadow and Shadow. Yeah. Every day. That's like basically all we do here is play Shadow decks. Alright. Ephemerate, good. Not the worst thing in the world for us. It's a little bit annoying, but could be significantly worse. Perfect. The follow is what I need then. Well, happy to have you. Absolutely happy to have you. But no, I hope that didn't come off as like sarcastic or passive aggressive or anything. I guess I thought about that after I said it. But yeah, like Death Shadow is my favorite archetype in Modern by an absolute mile. So I play it all the time. I think it's super fun. I think the gameplay is super fun. I think opponents underestimating your hand is super fun. Anything we're changing going into game 3. I could board back in the extra street raids if there's something that I just want to see out of my deck a little more often. It could be worth it. Like maybe street raids is just better than the other stubborn denials. If I cut the stubborn denials, maybe I could find a reason to cut Drown in the Lock and just like not have to worry about blue mana at all. Like is something like Brutality better than Drown? Or do I want the drown as like an answer? I guess I want that as a potential answer to like countering a Skyclave apparition. Will Hall coming in with the raid. Thank you so much. How'd your stream end up? I tried to jump back in there after my busy work stuff was done and suggest a terrible line or two. 4-1 with Jun Shadow. Nice. Nice. We're currently 1-1 or no 1-0. Yeah, this is match 2. We beat Blue White Control round 1, and we are going into game 3 of round 2 against ironically enough, Aspiring Spikes, Jeskai, Felidar Guardian, Saheeli deck. So we'll see how this goes. Got raided by the big man Spike. Nice. Nice. That's huge. That is absolutely huge. But for everybody coming over from Will's Hall, welcome. Or Will Hall's stream. Welcome, welcome. I can't say this is an experience over here because I feel like that's probably trademarked, but thank y'all for coming around. For anybody who doesn't know, if it's your first time on the channel, my name is Michael, also known as Control Freak. Play a ton of Modern, especially a ton of Death Shadow. So if you're ever interested in checking out Shadow content, this is a pretty alright space for you. We got a really great community, a bunch of great players. Not me, I just like click the mouse button and see what happens. But a bunch of awesome players that hang out, and it's really fun, really sweet. Highly recommend at least checking it out for a few minutes. Minotaur, thank you so much for the follow. Have I played the Knight of the Ebon Legion yet? I have not. I've heard a bunch of really good things about it, and I'm planning on playing it. I just haven't personally got around to it yet. I think that the card looks okay. I know, obviously, like, Doomwake's a lot higher on the card than basically everybody else in Magic, but it could have potential. I'm always on the lookout for creatures that are good in Shadow deck. I guess that's the other thing for anybody that doesn't know. Like, we test everything on this channel. Like, if it has ever gone into a Death Shadow deck, I can damn near guarantee you we've got gameplay footage of it somewhere. We could throw cards out there. Let's see. Dragon Master Outcast, Valakut Awakening, Nissa Steward of Elements. We've got Hex Parasite in here somewhere, one of my personal favorites. There we are. Hex Parasites, Lightning Skelementals, Rain of Gore. Here's about Rain of Gore. I've played Uro in 4-color Traverse Shadow. That's what we do. That's what we like doing. That's what we're gonna continue to do. Putrid Leech for Death Shadow. This man has issued up a challenge because he thinks that we haven't run the Putrid Leeches in Death Shadow before. You're barking up the wrong tree here. That's old school Jun. You're right. That's like Sprouting Thrynax Jun. That's Bloodbraid Elf into a Terminate Jun. That's Broodmate Dragon Jun. I know because I was playing Jun at that time. It was awesome. Alright. So opponents got... They use their Flooded Strand. Glasspool Mimic, Double Unknown. Part of me wants to go ahead and dismember this Thraben Inspector, but I think I'm going to hold off. 2009. Yes. 2008 was when I started playing Magic. And I think Shards was out. Or was about to come out, and I think, I don't think Conflux had come out yet. Actually, I know Conflux hadn't come out yet. I was at the Conflux pre-release. You're deathing up the wrong shadow. But yeah, like I'm telling you, if there's a card that you've ever wondered about in Shadow, unless it's something that's gotten tried out in the last like week or two, and we just haven't gotten around to it yet, I can pretty well guarantee you we've tried it at some point. Need to draft my Times Power Grim Lavamancer. Like, I'm telling you, I've got a... Where is it? I've got like a Mausoleum Secrets package in here that we've played. Obviously, the Delvers. Random threats you've never wanted to play in Death Shadow. Like, we've got some funky experimentation. Let's see. So... know about Glasspool Mimic. They can follow that in. That only copies a creature they control. So if they go for like Vial on 3, pre-combat, I'm probably, or pre-blocks, I'm probably just going to go ahead and dismember this Thraben Inspector. I want to pay full retail. Yes, because it means that they can't crack maybe Ephemerate too. Okay. Okay. Dash Hopes. I don't know if I have them in my collection. But for anybody who doesn't know, Dash Hopes is the 2-black counter spell that you counterslang unless an opponent pays... Might be any player. But I want to say it's an opponent pays 5 life. Do not have them in the collection, but I have played 1 or 2 before. Is it any player? There we go. You know, Commander staple Dash Hopes. So if I K-return with this Thraben Inspector on the stack, is that worth it? I think it is. I actually think that it is. Because I'm getting through 14. That shuts off Flooded Strand. It gets both of these off the board, so Ephemerate's dead. Like, obviously, if they have Felidar Guardian Saheeli in hand, they can kill me here, but if they don't have them in hand, I'm in a decent position. But yeah, like some of our favorite variants of Shadow, I'll just go off. Usually this is a lot more full, but I've gone through and cleaned up. We play like builds that people have played recently that did well in events, challenges, whatever. Jund is obviously super popular right now. 4-color Traverse is one of our personal favorites. Play a lot of Grixis. Like, if it's a Shadow variant, we play it on here. We've also played Esper, Abzan, Blue-Black, Green-Black, Mardu, Orzhov. You're another one that I can't think of the color combination name at the moment. But, yeah. How is Dash Hope? Not really great. Not really great. Because as soon as you start putting the decision-making in your opponent's hands, it's never going to work out the way you want it to work out. It's like when you want Dash Hopes to actually be a counterspell, it's not a counterspell. Is Matt over here throwing around suggestions for other Discords? Are you running Night's Whisper for draw? The one variation that had Night's Whisper in it at the moment was a list that I copied. And anytime I copy a list, I try to make sure that I'm good about giving credit to the original brewer. But yes, if there's Night's Whisper, it is for the card advantage first, and just the fact that it like does lose you a little bit of life is nice in some variants. Yeah, like Night's Whisper out of here. A couple recent lists have been running Sign in Blood, but I think that the double black's a little bit of a liability. So take it with a grain of salt. But see what happens if we can find a round 3 opponent. I thought we were over like these long wait times for matches. It was really bad for a second and then stop. Because you target your opponents for Skyclaves. I mean, that's good in an emergency situation, but in general, I would say like I don't want to give my opponent 2 cards. Though I have seen it for lethal as well. I saw it in standard a lot back out of the mono black vampires deck. Yeah, that was a thing in Zendikar. And then I saw Def Jad post a screenshot recently of killing somebody with a Sign in Blood in Modern in a Shadow deck. Sign in Blood, then Bolt with the trigger on the side. Alright, what do we think about this? To me, this is a ship. I don't know. I don't know if Dismember is going to be live. So it's looking like 1 threat that I can't cast. 2 removal spells that may or may not be dead. So I think I can mulligan for something a little more proactive. This is definitely more proactive. I think I'm going to throw back Basic Forest. It's like the farthest available option off of getting this Shadow online. Or run Windcaller Aven and Sultai 4-color before. Yes, I have. My 2 cents on Windcaller Aven is please don't call it a pseudo TBR anywhere near me. Like, I think Windcaller Aven is cool. I don't think Windcaller Aven is a card that I would ever put in my deck for the purposes of having like an additional Battle Rage. Or a color replacing Battle Rage. Let's see. So, Traverse on top. I could go Cycle Street Wraith, get Traverse, fetch Shock like Overgrown Tomb, Inquisition. That turns on Delirium. So that turn 2, I can Traverse for a fetch land, fetch Shock, play Shadow. Let's go with that. Have you done Rainbow yet? Yes, I've done a few different variants of like a 5-color Shadow deck, including 5-color Tribal Flames. We've done 5-color 5-color, that was like 5-color Tribal Flame Suicide with like Wild Nicodles. We've done 5-color with everything but white in the main, splashing a Godless Shrine out of the board for Lingering Souls and Ranger Captain. We've done 5-color in the main, everything but blue with Stubborn Denials in the board. I don't think we've done all 5 colors in the main outside of the Tribal Flames list. But Mike, it's a 1-mana TBR. What is it though? Is it? Alright. So opponent's got... Oh, that was what they drew for the turn. So their last card is Bloodstained Mire. Alright. Let's go bobble you, Vengevine off the top. So am I just going Traverse for a basic? I could Traverse for like a Blood Crypt, which makes Battle Rage a lot better if I find one. I think I'm okay with that, right? Yeah. Okay. But yeah, my issue with... Speak of the devil. My issue with the whole, like, it's a blue TBR argument is not that I think Windcaller Avon's bad or anything like that, but I think that it gets very misconstrued, because I think a lot of times people replace TBR in non-red shadow variants with something like Fling or Windcaller Avon, Slip Through Space, and like don't really take into account the fact that this is doubling the power, which is what makes it so good. Alright. So, what's my best route at getting from where I'm at to where I need to be to kill my opponent? My concern here is if I like Street Wraith into a fetch land and I go down to 3 and I attack with Shadow, I'm presenting lethal, but if my opponent has, like if I Battle Rage my Shadow, they block with Stitcher's Supplier, then I could run into a situation where Stitcher's Supplier flips over a Creeping Chill and just kills me. So I don't just want to blindly go for it if I can play around that. So I think that means what I'm going to do is Thoughtseize my opponent, hold up Fatal Push, and go for like Fatal Push, Stitcher Supplier on their instep, so that I can know if I'm actually dead to Creeping Chill or not, or if I need to fetch shock again or what. Or if they play like Secret Keeper here, you could have Deathrite Shaman. I would love Deathrite Shaman. I don't even know if it would slot into every Shadow variant, but I would like to have access to the card. I don't know why they're not playing the Secret Keeper. So here we're definitely going for it. But I feel like they might want the 4 toughness on the board. Okay. Not even gonna make me show the Battle Rage. GG coming in with the host. Thank you so much. How'd the I think I saw you were playing in the preliminary. How'd that end up? I only got to jump in for like a minute or two, and then work kept me off of staying around. Felt bad. Probably want to keep it for a Vengevine turn. Oh, probably want to keep the Secret Keeper. Sure. I mean, like, if you're just dying on board, though, can't really afford to hang around on that Vengevine plan. Alright, so 1-for-1 removal is pretty bad. Gotta treat it a little bit like Dredge. Go like this. But welcome everybody from GG's stream. Hope y'all all had a fantastic time over there. For anybody who's new to the channel, my name's Michael, known as Control Freak. Yeah, up here somewhere. Over here. Yeah, that one. Play a lot of Modern on the channel, especially a lot of Death Shadow. So if you're ever wanting to see Death Shadow content, you're in the right place. Along with GG's channel, because he plays a ton of Death Shadow nowadays. Mainly because it's better than Ponza, but whatever. Each their own. Alright, 5 cards in hand. We're definitely killing this crab. How do I want to kill the crab? If I want this to get blood crypt, I think just Water Grave Dismember is fine. They typically have a reasonably painful mana base. So it's certainly not unheard of to see them do a few points of damage to themselves. With the rest of their... Okay. So that's how we're doing this. Do I prefer Michael or Mike? I'm good with whichever. Like, honestly, does not bother me one way or the other. Alright, so here comes the Vengevine. Secret Keeper, trigger the Vengevine. I guess maybe they're taking into account that they could just like die if they get too aggressive with the Vengevines. Now we've got to start being careful that we don't die to Creeping Chill. I guess that kind of helps out in that regard. But I think my opponent is going to hard cast Creeping Chill next turn. Probably. Am I planning on attacking with Shadow? Probably not. Let's go like this. Kind of a in-between-ish play. Like, I think at this point, I'm kind of going with the idea of I need Battle Rage to win. So I just want to stay alive long enough to give myself a few extra draws to potentially see the Battle Rage. In game 1, I could choose to play around Citrus Supplier blocking. This game, not so much. So we need to attack somewhere here. Or do we? Maybe we don't. Maybe it's just play Scourge and pass. Got so many like good chump blocks. Well, I don't think I have much of a choice there. Should just be Misty Creeping Chill left in hand. Opponent decides to get frisky. Alright, Battle Rage off the top. That by itself doesn't do a lot. So if I Thought Seize the Creeping Chill, I don't die. I guess I have to do that. Because as Grandpappy always said, not dying is a lot better than dying. Alright, easy Battle Rage off the top. I think we're gonna hit it. We love Grandpappy. I know, we do. But yeah, for everybody new to the channel, give my little quick 20-second plugs, and then we'll be done with any random plugs for the day. Silver Smoke Ghoul. Quick little plugs are, if you're ever wanting to see any of the other Shadow content, our YouTube channel, The Control Freak, has all of our leagues individually uploaded. Occasionally there might be a double, but for the most part, all leagues individually uploaded. Everything's time stamped with records. So if you just go to YouTube, search The Control Freak, you'll find all of that. Just if you want to see other variations of Shadow, or if you're wanting to see test builds or anything like that, it's a cool place to check those out. Other than that, yeah, if you're new to the channel and you're enjoying the content, enjoying the commentary, the gameplay, anything like that, or if you enjoy it in a few minutes, just consider hitting the follow button. Doesn't cost you anything, just lets you know whenever we go live, so you can come check it out. That's all I got. Alright, so we're gonna block Vengevine, Stitcher Supplier, trade with the prized amalgam, take 2, go to 1, and we're gonna not have them flip over a Creeping Chill, and we're gonna rip the Battle Rage off the top. Ready? And break. One time, deck. Almost. Alright. Scoop that one up. Go to game 3. Alright. Fatal Push again, looking terrible. K-Return's probably a little bit better than I'm giving it credit for. Same with Plague Engineer. If I just want to stop them from going so wide, both of those are fine. I want Stubborn Denial. I feel like Street Wraith is just better than Stubborn Denial. Doesn't say what we saw at the end there. We saw abrupt decay, so they do have decay. Maybe Veil of Summer. I don't think Creeping Chill targets, does it? Exile, if you do, deals 3 damage to each opponent. Does not. We'll roll with this. Sappy, man, what's going on? Last night Doom was on late, now you, weird times. So for me, it was just work. Like, I had stuff to do earlier, so I couldn't really be on that late. Or Doom Wake, no idea. Okay. So I'm going to impart some shadow-oriented wisdom on you. This hand looks great. I think this hand is a trap. I could throw out creatures for days, but I don't think it's doing enough, especially against a fast start. So, like, if I play out this and they go turn 1 crab, they're just going to start flooding the board with, what's it called? Oh god, Vengevines, stuff like that, quicker than I can really present a board presence. If this hand had 1 piece of removal or 1 piece of hand disruption, I would probably keep it. But I think without those, it's just not doing enough. This is probably a trap as well. But it's a trap with a death shadow, so I gotta give it a little more credit. I think I'm actually gonna bottom the swamp. We'll see how it plays out. Second Tarmogoyf. I don't know, pitching Shadow might be the right play here with no fetches. I get that idea, but I think Shadow plus Battle Rage is like the only way that we're winning this matchup. So I really don't want to lose, I really don't want to lose out on that interaction. Or just see all 4 Street Wraiths. That makes me look dumb. No. I don't think your decision would have been wrong in the slightest. But I think that Battle Rage, or Shadow specifically, but Shadow plus Battle Rage, is just such a high priority in this matchup that I'm usually okay with giving up a little bit of consistency if I get a Shadow. Just gonna play Goyf here. Yeah, but Wraith into Fetch was not a line I expected. I mean, it's always a possibility, but, like, our opponent could just, what's the card? Glimpse the Unthinkable themselves and hit, like, triple, Creeping Chill and we just die. So... let's see. They've got 1 Vengevine in the yard currently. Alright, just gave myself 3 lethal attackers next turn. hope that was going to be good enough. The reason I went for Shadow over like Thoughtseize there is because it's because they only had one Vengevine in the yard. If they had had like 2 or 3 Vengevines, I probably Thoughtseize and try to just dodge the double creature draw. But because it's only one Vengevine that they're getting back, and I don't really care about one, that's kind of where that thought process came from. Wagner, how's it going? You're up late. I wish I could read. Thank you so much for the follow. Almost missed it, but thank you. Hope you're having a fantastic, was it Wednesday evening or night or Thursday morning or, yeah, wherever you're at in the world. Nice deck, dude. Appreciate it. But yeah, we're 3-0. We beat blue-white control. We got to update the matchup guide. All the new folks probably haven't seen this either. So 4 color shadows way over here. I don't think I have a spot for CrabVine, but we beat blue-white control. We beat CrabVine. And we beat Spike's Jeskai. We're just putting it under like Jeskai Copycat. I don't think I have a spot for Copycat combo. Down a little bit. Away. Complete. Alright, match number 4. Lawrence 308. I played this person the other day. Lawrence 308. I say the other day, yeah. Know what they're playing. We'll figure it out as we go. This is an alright shadow hand, right? I want to say it's like Tron or Amulet. But we'll see. That doesn't look very Tron-y or Amulet-y. Let's see. So it could be... What did Strand... Oh, is this Esper control? That might be what it is. Looks like an Esper control deck to me. If it walks like an Esper control deck and it quacks like an Esper control deck, might be Esper control deck. So I'm pretty sure they're going to have an answer for whatever I play out here. Not really expecting that Grimflayer to live, but it at least bridges me to my like double threat next turn. And Glacial Fortress says yes. You mean to Esper control? Be pretty inclined to agree. So fight over this deal means I get to drop a shadow. Don't do anything. Have my shadow. Thank you. Justice. Justice! Alright, so we need to find like some Thoughtseizes and not necessarily street raids because I want to get closer to this Traverse. We've got Vantress live now. That's a little terrifying. Snap, steal my shadow here. I think they should have waited until I finished resolving this. Mainly because if I decided to, or if I was still deciding on whether to like fetch or shock myself or not, then I think that they would want to wait until after I do that. Thoughtseize. Not quite. Not quite. Definitely running into a little bit of a wrong half dilemma here. Seeing all the removal against the control deck. But that's kind of like the joy of any mid-range deck in game one. Alright, so they went to top. Yep. So they're pretty well gonna run away with this game at this point. Like, if we find a Thoughtseize in the next draw, that's probably gonna be good enough. We'll give it one more draw step. But I still think if we can find a Thoughtseize, we have a chance. We can, like, Thoughtseize away something, an answer out of their hand, Traverse for Shadow, Traverse for Luris, whatever. But we do not. Let's move on to game two. We can get some of these completely dead magic cards out of our hand and out of our deck. Spellbomb, Drown, Fails are okay, Brutality's okay. Probably want Trophy more than K-Command. Dealing with the Resolve Planeswalker is nice. And we'll go like this. Alright. Esper Shadow falls in that category of like blue-white X shadow decks that are, or blue-white X control decks that are typically horrible matchups for any shadow variant. So we'll see how games 2 and 3 go. I'm sure a lot of people would probably argue that blue-white X control is like worst shadow matchup possible, but I don't think that's necessarily the case. I still think that like black-white X trade binder is worst matchup, but each their own. Well, if you could guarantee me my top 2 cards were lands, I would snap keep this. But you cannot, so I will not. This is like one of those hands that would be a fantastic 7, right? Like perfect 7. So I've got to throw something back, so I think I'm going to throw back the Bauble. I can see everything else in the hand like being pretty live. Opponent, unfortunately, was not kind enough to mulligan with us. So, boo on them. Take mana leak so we can pretty assuredly resolve threats on turn 2 and turn 3. Ooh, tough one. Do I want a Thoughtseize plus Shadow, or do I want a Tarmogoyf? I think that I want to Tarmogoyf here. Kind of get that bigger mana investment out of the way. Because if I draw a third land, I might want to Shadow plus Drown in the lock. But if I play like Thoughtseize Shadow now and I draw a third land, I can't Goyf plus Drown in the lock. So I think this is the slightly more mana advantageous play. Then I'll go ahead and Thoughtseize, because if I'm taking Jace, I can add Planeswalker to the yard. Make this Tarmogoyf a little thicker. And from here, I'm just jamming attacks until either they die or find a Supreme Verdict. They do not. Jake, man, good draw for us. Agreed. Draws were solid. That's typically how you beat blue-white X control, is just get in under them, especially if they're running things like Jace, Big Teferi, Cryptic Command. You do have a lot of draws that can just like out aggro and out tempo your opponent. I don't think I'm changing anything. Kind of drew some lands. Well, they kept some lands, right? Like, they kept a 4-lander with mana leak on the draw. Like, that's probably going to be too slow. Alright. So, I'm pretty positive I'm shipping this, but let's take a look over it just in case. We get Fetch Land, Bobble, Thoughtseize in the yard for the Traverse. We could lose 3, 5, 8, 10 life. So Shadow's not even ferocious yet. We would have to find instant or like a Street Wraith to get Traverse live. And that requires like our opponent playing something into a soft stub, which is very unlikely, or finding exactly a Street Wraith. Alright, is this a hand we have to keep because of the high upside? I think so, honestly. I think we need to draw the second land, like a fetch land. So if that's the case, I'm bottoming Traverse. I've got my threats. I've got my interaction. Either Traverse, maybe Spellbomb. Probably Spellbomb. We just need to find second land, preferably a fetch land. Mana Leak, Purge, Charm, Jace. Alright, we'll take Mana Leak because they can't purge a Tarmogoyf. Alright. Fetch land, Breeding Pool. Fetch land, Breeding Pool, fetch land, Breeding Pool. Either one would be... Any green source, honestly, we'd be happy with. Got there. Alright, so... They played Flooded Strand. We're just gonna jam down a Tarmogoyf. They go. Purge this one. 3 mana Teferi would be really bad for us here. That was one of their draws. We didn't know about that one. So, let's say I play second Tarmogoyf. They Archmage's Charm to counter it. Then they untap Jace, bounce. So what I'm gonna do is Traverse for basic Forest. I don't think they're gonna counter this with no Delirium. Just pass. What were the previous matchups? We're 3-0 right now. We beat Blue-White Control round 1. We beat CrabVine round 3, and we beat Spikes, Jeskai, Saheeli, Copycat, Ephemerate, Wall of Omens, Blink deck thing round 2. I think that's the official name for it, right? Yep. So not a bunch of great matchups. We've been fortunate in some of our draws. Definitely the official name. You got it wrong, see? It's good when you pay attention to these things. Bounce my Goyf. Bounce my Goyf. Oh, the value, the value. There's a bunch of Tarmogoyfs. Back down Jace. And second Tarmogoyf because and play Spell Bomb because we can.
1, 2, 3, 4.
It's no Lazatep plating, but it does the job here. Well, seeing as how we can actually cast one of those at the moment. For anybody who doesn't know, yes, we have tried Lazatep plating on this stream. As we were talking about test cards earlier. I don't know if I still have any in my collection. Yeah, I do. Yeah. If you ever want to blank your opponent's Field of Ruins or white removal spells and make a mass token, Lazatep plating is your card. Why do they not play a land there? Or do they just forget to? They have a Godless Shrine in hand that we know about.
What's your name, pretty boy?
Jeskai Cat Herder. Well, that sounds a lot better than Jeskai Catheter. Jeskai Catheter is a
What's your name, pretty boy?
terrifying idea. Alright, just looking for like a blue source to be able to Stubborn Denial.
What's your name, pretty boy?
Alright, so I'm gonna bobble me because if it's a fetch land, I'd be pretty inclined to just like go ahead and crack Spell Bomb and try to draw into it. But it's not, so it's calling it Jeskai's Soul Cat. Doesn't really roll off the tongue. Yeah, like nothing's rolling off the tongue.
What's your name,
Put
pretty
opponent down to 2. We're drawing into it. I just want to draw this Thoughtseize now. I kind of do, right? Do I? Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and draw this Thoughtseize.
What's your name, pretty boy? I'm not gonna lie to you. Yo, I have expectations.
Celestial Purge, Esper Charm up. So if we take the Opt, I really don't think there's anything that they can draw off the Celestial Purge or off the Esper Charm that like punishes us. So I'm just gonna take that and hope they don't have enough mana to like actually kill us here. Well, I guess that kills them on our turn. All right.
What's your name?
All right. Nice little 2/1, 2/1, 2/1, 2/1. That's how Modern goes, right?
What's your name?
Take care of her. Yeah, I think that's why we thought C's there, was so that we just don't die to like a verdict.
What's your name?
The I don't know what this song is, but the girl saying "What's your name, pretty boy" is making me feel some type of way.
What's your name?
What about "You Can Herd Cats"? That's a good one. A really good one. Or the long way. Unless your opponent just agrees you have infinite power or life. I mean, usually that's like the gentleman route to take, right? Just, yeah, you presented this loop. I'm going to let you have your loop. Chicho Grunge, 1999, or 1990. 1990. Thank you so much for the follow. Hope you're having a fantastic Wednesday evening or Thursday morning, wherever you're at in the world. Appreciate you coming and hanging out. Taking the scenic route. I mean, all roads lead to Rome. I believe that's the saying. Maybe all roads lead to a fifth opponent here somewhere. Smooth. Thick Smooth reveals Giganta. So, I guess if I had to say two possibilities would be either like Tron or Mono Red. Maybe like old school humans. More likely Tron. I think Hayashi's the only one that's really done Mono Red with Giganta ever. Always been Obosh for the most part. So if it's Tron, this is like a terrible hand against Tron. I think they were in the top 8 of one of the events this weekend. I think so as well. That sounds really familiar. Or no. I think they won the PTQ on Monday. I think that's what it is. I believe they won the PTQ. Pretty bad as well. All right. So we bottom Battle Rage, second fetch land. Or what? Ron with no Karn the Great Creator. So, bottoming Battle Rage for sure. As much as I think you could make an argument for like keep Battle Rage, bottom second Thoughtseize, and like fetch land and just say, alright, I'm not winning without stupid hyper aggression, battle rage plus shadow on a mold of 5. Maybe we do need to consider that a little bit more. Yeah. Alright, let's see what happens. If we were on the play, I think this hand would have like a reasonable shot. Not great, but possible. Turn 1, Forest, Ancient Stirring. That's okay for us, but like, if opponent just has natural Tron anyway, they don't have anywhere near natural Tron. I'm gonna take Relic. Their hand is like not good. I'm not entirely sure why they kept this hand. Neither is ours right, but we're on a mold of 5. We have reasons that our hand sucks. Like, they kept 7. And I know I'm not a Tron expert, but I feel like this isn't a 7 that you keep. Did they just naturally draw Mine Power Plant? Can we talk about that for a second? They just blind drew my power plant. Oh, man. Yeah. Sometimes your trophy's just not meant to be. Alright. Huh. Keep the one Tron lander. Draw the other pieces. Got it. Ooh. Have to take a page out of opponent's book on that one. Their keep was bad, but we drew actual nothing. Didn't matter. Right, that was kind of the risk of keeping the second fetch land over like a second Thoughtseize. Is if we draw a third land, we're just like officially flooding out. If we don't draw the third land and we draw gas, yeah, it's perfect. But obviously that didn't happen, so... Fallen Wraith gave you some decent looks towards the threat. Yeah, we had like 3 or 4 draws there to find a threat. And especially if they didn't like draw the Tron lands, any of our threats would have been good, except for Scourge. I told my opponent well then and just laughed, and they said, yeah, it worked out. LOL, don't know why I read the hand wrong, too much grinding. Love to play first. Keep a 7. Yeah, this is fine. Get to like turn 1. Probably turn 1 hold up stub. Because I think between like between map, star, sphere, ancient stirrings, like I'm pretty happy to counter any of them. Alternatively, I could, especially on a mold of 4, I think we're just going to keep the soft stub. Opponent is drawing into a relic. Yeah. Little not nice of them. That's 2 Tron lands down. Pretty sure I'm just double threading here. Up the Tron. We have the Tron. They go Tron at Gigantha. Probably have 4 relics post board you want to counter. Yeah, it's a good chance of having relics. Like natural Tron is just something that you're more often than not not beating. So you really want to focus on just like keeping Tron off the board for a turn or 2. And if they have it, they have it. But again, you're probably not beating it if they have it. We've got a whole bunch of green spells and not a whole bunch of green mana. So what does that mean for me? This is going to be artifact, sorcery, something else in the yard, and then if they pop Blast Zone, that adds land, creature. So if I take like Veil of Summer, Tarmogoyf's going to be a 5/6. Is that my best? I think that's my best route to winning. That means that they have to draw basic forest. To play like Thragtusk or something. If they draw Star, Sphere, anything like that, I get to Stubborn Denial it. Gotta stop saying things. Got to stop saying things. Alright. What am I doing from here? Like, I want to play to the board with Grim Flare or Luris. I think I'm just supposed to pass and counter the Ancient Stirrings. I was like, Gigantha, Sylvan Scrying, whatever, is annoying. But, like, I just can't beat, like, a Wormcoil. Oh, my God. Calm down. Calm down. Opponent. Just a game. It's just a game. I think you're a bit too late. Alright. Alright. That was rough. That was rough. Alright, so what do we think of 4-color? Before we have full-blown anxiety attack over Tron draws. Oh, man. Correct. Not wrong. You're not wrong. Okay. Luck was strong in that one. Have you seen my Tron opponents? Alright, so let's think. 4-color. How did it look that late? I thought it was really solid. Like, we ran into the Tron Buzzsaw there. Not much we can do about that. But otherwise, the turn 1 hand disruption into turn 2 threat plan worked out very well. We beat Esper control and blue-white control, which really speaks to, like, the threat density of this deck. We were able to just play out threats, keep the pressure on our opponents. Our loss to Tron, game 1, I guess both games really, there were some top deck luck there, but it happens. Nothing you can do about it. What was our other match? Our spreadsheet. CrabVine. CrabVine's a bit of a rough matchup as well, but we were a little fortunate in navigating that one. Lost to Urzatron. Stubborn Denial was okay. We boarded it out against the Jeskai copycat deck. But it was great in every other matchup. I guess we boarded some out against CrabVine as well. But I think that 3 out of 5 matchups, like, having Stubborn Denial live was good. Street Wraith was fantastic. We got to see, like, a turn 1 Death Shadow. All of our shadows were live pretty much every time we saw them. The Street Wraith Bobble tricks live. I think Street Wraiths were very good. Like, do I think Street Wraith in the deck is better than having access to Lurrus as a companion? I think it's comparable. I don't think it's a slam dunk one way or the other. But, like, if you cut Street Wraith, I wouldn't run Traverse. Like, I think they kind of go together. It's like a fly going around over here. So if you see me swatting at my face, I'm not having a stroke. I think Wraith and Traverse. I think you can't run Traverse without Wraith. I think you can run Wraith without Traverse, as you see in like the Grixis builds. So I think that there is some merit to like making sure that if you're running Traverse, you've got Wraith. I wouldn't run Traverse in like a Lurrus companion build. I would just like jam in some extra threats. For the Wraiths, or were the blue cards and the Wraiths good? Like the blue cards, yes. Like we saw double control deck, we saw Tron. And the blue cards are fantastic in all three of those matchups. A little less so against the copycat deck, but we also don't really know what they're boarding into or boarding out of or whatnot. Let's see. So Musai, when Battle Rage resolves, if you took Thragtusk, wouldn't Tarmogoyf be a 4/5? When Battle Rage resolved, Tarmogoyf would be a 5/6. We would have had Artifact, Land, Sorcery, Creature in the yard, and then Instant with Battle Rage. But I wanted to get the extra damage in with the Tarmogoyf there, because he was probably going to Blast Zone inside of combat to make us deal 5 instead of whatever the other amount was. So, like, Battle Rage wasn't going to be lethal the next turn anyway. I don't remember what his life total was, but there's the chance that the extra point of damage like would have prevented us from killing him for an extra turn. So I'd have to go back through and double check the life totals. All I know is they have combo and 4 Auriok champions.